Farmer finds 3 babies in his crop. When he approached, he noticed a shocking detail. A farmer discovers one of his sheep resting in the field, but is flabbergasted by what he finds beneath it. Upon closer inspection, he is taken aback as he notices 3 tiny newborns. As the sun rose on the farm, its rays filled Tony and Julie's bedroom, bringing a sense of peace and tranquility that they loved about country life. The soft morning light filled the air, signaling the beginning of a new day. Tony, a strong man with rough hands from working hard in the fields, woke up as soon as the sun began to rise. He rose silently, slipping into his well-worn brown boots and donning the weathered coat that bore witness to countless days under the sun and rain. The farmer cherished the invigorating start to the day, surrounded by the morning's farm-fresh ambiance. He enjoyed the familiar rhythm of rising early, savoring the cool morning air and the gentle touch of dew on his skin. He always made it a point to start his day by visiting the barn, where he would diligently check on and care for the animals he held dear. As he swung open the barn doors, he was met with the familiar scent of hay and the gentle sounds of the animals. "Hello everyone, what did you do last night?" he carefully greeted, taking care of the animals by spreading hay for the horses and food for the sheep. The peacefulness of the rural area was interrupted solely by the soft breeze and the calls of the roosters, forming a serene and beautiful setting that Tony cherished deeply. But as he went to see how his sheep were doing, the man noticed something out of the ordinary. The door to one of the stalls was open, and Lizzie, his favorite sheep, was missing. "Lizzie!" he shouted, searching for the animal. His heart started racing when he saw that the back door of the barn was slightly open, suggesting that the animal might have escaped. Concerned for the frigid night, the temperatures hovering around 23 degrees, Tony hurriedly dashed out of the barn, urgently calling for the sheep. He strolled around the farm, feeling anxious and dreading the worst. After a short search, the farmer noticed a white object in the snow, not far from the beginning of the cornfield. It was Lizzie. He hurried towards her, feeling a weight of sorrow in his chest, already fearing that he had arrived too late. "Lizzie," he said, gently removing the snow that covered the animal. He felt a brief sense of relief when he noticed the sheep was still breathing, although it was very weak. While clearing away the snow, the man made an unexpected discovery beneath the sheep's body, a peculiar cloth that seemed out of place. Lizzie appeared to be shielding something with her own body. Gently, the farmer raised the animal, and upon discovering what lay beneath her, he felt his legs quiver. "Oh my goodness," he exclaimed, absolutely terrified by what he saw. Right in the middle of the field, surrounded by the sheep, he stumbled upon something that completely defied all logic. 3 newborn babies. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. "How did you get here?" murmured the man, his voice trembling with astonishment and disbelief. Tony quickly removed his coat and used it to cover the children. Despite the freezing temperatures, Lizzie had bravely shielded them with her own body throughout the night, providing some much-needed warmth. In a hurry, he placed the cloth that the children had over the sheep, attempting to shield it from the harsh cold. The farmer was both shocked and unsure of how to proceed. With a natural motion, he lifted the sheep onto his shoulders and cradled the 3 babies snugly in his coat with the other arm. He hurried back to the barn, where he had left Lizzie in her stall. He made sure to cover her with extra hay to keep her warm. Afterwards, he made his way back to the house. The man called out loudly for his wife, Julie. "Hey, come over here, let's go!" The woman woke up, feeling surprised and unsure due to the noise. "What's going on, Tony?" she yelled, hurrying down the stairs, but when she saw the 3 babies on the sofa and her husband looking helpless, she was confused. "Huh? How can I assist you? What are you doing with those kids? Where did they come from?" Julie was in shock as Tony described the situation. Struggling to believe what she was hearing, Julie was already at work, getting hot water ready for a cozy bath for the little ones. The couple, although unsure of their appropriate course of action, displaying a genuine parental instinct and nurturance. The little boys were quickly warmed up and tucked into bed, snugly wrapped in blankets for maximum warmth and comfort, Tony, concerned for Lizzie's well-being, brought warm water to the barn and ensured that the sheep recuperated from the chilly night. Once they ensured the safety and comfort of everyone, the couple found themselves in the kitchen attempting to comprehend the recent events.
"Where did these infants come from?"
the woman inquired, her voice tinged with worry and amazement. "Before we continue, I'm curious to know what you would do in this couple's situation. If you leave a comment, I'll respond promptly." Continuing forward, they had a puzzle to solve, but at that moment, their top priority was taking care of the children. They experienced a blend of emotions, confusion, despair, and an unexpected sense of joy. As they gazed upon the peaceful faces of those 3 slumbering angels, they felt an instant and profound connection. "We should handle them, Julie. We need to determine what occurred." "Indeed, that is true. I'll go and see if I can find anything, but for now, there are responsibilities," the husband stated with determination. Tony continued as he felt a sudden surge of affection for the 3 small beings that had crossed his path. Julie and Tony had a deep longing for becoming parents, a dream that had eluded them for years. This love stemmed from their heartfelt desire, born in their 40s. Regrettably, Tony was unable to have children, which prevented them from experiencing the joy of having their own kids. They even thought about adoption, but the bureaucracy was incredibly overwhelming, and the process was so tiring that the couple became extremely disheartened. They owned a spacious farm, abundant with crops, a place where they envisioned the joyful sounds of children playing and running freely. They pictured kids running around in the fields, bringing happiness and liveliness to the home that they had constructed with great affection. However, until that point, this day appeared far off. A delightful fantasy they believed they could never achieve, but on that day, when they encountered the 3 identical infants, something shifted. Tony and Julie were overjoyed, with a sense of fate finally granting their deepest desires. They were now experiencing the joys of parenthood, even though it had come about in an unexpected and dramatic manner. The farmer, though, was quite curious and felt the need to discover the origins of those little ones. Their baby's affection, their mother is never too far. She abandoned them, leaving them to perish in the frigid weather. Without Lizzie, their lives would have been lost. "What kind of mother does that?" he exclaimed, his voice filled with anger and disgust. The wife empathized with her husband's concerns and felt a surge of anger herself. It was unfathomable to her how a mother could abandon her babies in such a way. With a strong desire for answers, the man made the decision to explore the farm and its surroundings, hoping to find some clues. He hopped into his truck and began cruising through the countryside, making stops at the neighbors' houses, which were pretty far apart. However, there was a lack of information regarding the presence of a pregnant woman or any recent births. Tony became increasingly frustrated as he received more and more negative responses. After spending a while driving through the wide open spaces of the countryside, his mind going back to the little ones. What a cruel woman! Why would she leave her children behind like that? He muttered, growing angrier at the unknown mother's irresponsibility and cruelty. He couldn't believe she didn't consider the consequences if no one found them. However, as the man neared the spot where he had discovered the children by the cornfield, Tony spotted an object in the distance. The cornfield appeared partially open, as though it had been disturbed, with an unusual figure situated in its center. What is that? He wondered, feeling curious and slightly uneasy. He parked his truck close to the cornfield, and as he approached, the figure became more distant. However, he was still able to discern its identity. The father was filled with a sense of unease, anticipating a revelation that would profoundly alter the narrative surrounding those infants. Tony cautiously stepped into the cornfield, his heart racing with a blend of curiosity and nervousness. What could he discover in that place? With each step amongst the towering cornstalks, his anxiety grew. If that day was already filled with surprising occurrences, nothing could have prepared him for what he was about to uncover. Upon his arrival, he was filled with fear. A young woman lay on the ground, breathing weakly and irregularly, clearly in her final moments. "Oh my goodness, are you okay? I'll lend you a hand," said the man, offering his assistance to the woman. However, upon contact with her, she experienced a severe coughing fit and felt an intense chill. She was trembling violently, struggling to form words. As Tony gazed at the woman, he noticed her belly sticking out, giving the impression that she might be pregnant or recently had a baby. Despite his anger, he asked softly, considering the gravity of the situation, "Are you the mother of those triplets?" The young mother's eyes grew wide, and she asked in a shaky voice,
"Have you found them? Are they still alive?"
She coughed while speaking and then started to cry.
"Thank goodness."
These words left Tony perplexed. He had always thought that she had abandoned them to their fate. However, the woman struggled to convey the events of the previous night. Eleanor was a girl without a home who found herself in a dire situation on that freezing night. She was going through labor, looking for a place to take shelter. She found herself heading towards Tony and Julie's farm, noticing the warm glow emanating from the house in the distance. She strolled as far as she possibly could, her feet firmly planted on the snowy ground. Unfortunately, she was unable to arrive at their residence on time. In the middle of the field, she started to deliver the baby. She felt a sense of sadness every time another one of her babies came into the world, because she lacked the energy to bring them to the couple's home. She somehow found a way to wrap them in a worn cloth she used as a blanket. Amazingly, Tony had become preoccupied the previous day and failed to secure the latch on Lizzie's gate. The sheep, upon hearing Ellen's cries, made their way out of the barn and approached the woman. The young woman became frightened upon seeing the sheep and hastily sought refuge in the nearby cornfield. Lizzie, on the other end, discovered the infants and provided them warmth with her own body. Meanwhile, Eleanor, who was already weakened from childbirth and feeling ill without her blanket to shield her from the freezing winds, unfortunately succumbed to the harsh cold. Tired and unable to handle the extreme cold, she fell down in the middle of the cornfield, getting very cold and sick. Little did she know, as her life came to an end, that destiny would lead her children to a kind-hearted farmer who would embrace them as his own. The father was deeply touched by the young woman's difficult life, feeling a mix of sadness and compassion as he listened to her story. He regretted his quick judgment of her. Understanding the importance of the situation, he knew he had to take action. "I'll bring you back to my place. We should warm you up and attend to your wounds," he said, gently attempting to lift the young woman. "Let's go, darling. I'll help you get up. Wow, it's really cold here." Nevertheless, she struggled with her frailty, overwhelmed by the challenges of her journey and the unforgiving chill of the night.
"No,"
the unfortunate woman uttered.
"My time has arrived, sir."
The atmosphere has filled with a profound sorrow. Eleanor, tears streaming down her face, gazed at the farmer and softly implored,
"Please care for them as if they were your own."
Her words were filled with desperation, a heartfelt plea from a mother who was painfully aware that she wouldn't be there to witness her child's journey into adulthood. With those heartfelt words and deep affection, the unfortunate girl drew her final breath, leaving behind a lasting impact on the lives of those who became her unexpected heroes. A soft breeze gently moved the cornfields, as if expressing sorrow for the unfortunate destiny of the young woman. The sky above appeared to mirror the somberness of that moment, surrounding the scene with an ambience of parting and contemplation. The man was visibly upset as he gently placed Ellen's lifeless body into his truck. Upon his arrival home, he shared the details with his wife. She was deeply moved by the young woman's story and the heartbreaking loss of the babies, causing her to shed tears. United, the couple made the decision to provide her with a dignified burial, paying tribute to her memory and the meaningful bond they shared, albeit for a short time. The funeral was a heartfelt ceremony, filled with deep emotions. On the farm, by the cornfield, beneath the trees, they bid farewell to Eleanor, presenting her with wild flowers plucked from the field. A modest yet significant memorial was established there, beneath the expansive blue sky. Tony and Julie made a heartfelt commitment to care for the three boys as if they were their own, ensuring that the memory of their courageous mother would live on. After experiencing sadness and mourning, the couple decided to officially adopt the triplets. They were determined to keep their promise to the girl and make their long-held dream come true. The farm was a boundless playground for them. With its vast lands, the triplets thoroughly enjoyed exploring the vast fields, engaging in playful interactions with the animals, and eagerly assisting their parents with the day-to-day tasks. They were eager and enthusiastic, always ready to learn and participate in the farm's activities. Tony and Julie were amazed by the daily growth of the boys. Every day was filled with new discoveries, moments of laughter, and small adventures. The previous quiet house was now filled with laughter and lively conversations. Meals were times of unity and joy, where stories were exchanged and future plans were talked about. The young boys, with their innate affection for the outdoors and creatures, transformed into genuine protectors of the farm. It was clear that they had a strong connection with the land and the animals that inhabited it. They took great care of the sheep, always keeping in mind Lizzie, the brave sheep who had made a big impact on their lives. Couples always remained honest with their children about their background. They shared the story of Eleanor, their biological mother, with a deep admiration and affection. They discussed her profound love for them and her courageous battles to bring them into existence. Every year, they would bring them to her tomb, located close to the cornfield. These stories instilled in the boys a deep affection and respect for a mother they had never known, but who had sacrificed everything for them. Miguel, Raphael, and Gabriel developed a distinct perspective on life, love, and selflessness as they matured. They were aware of the love they had received since the beginning of their lives and felt immensely grateful for their adoptive parents, who had given them a loving home and countless opportunities. Over time, the farm thrived, along with the family. The fields were filled with the laughter and joy of the little boys, and the love that circulated in the house was truly remarkable. Reflecting on the past, Tony and Julie realized that all their experiences had brought them to this point, where they had created a loving family. The tale of the three tiny infants discovered in a chilly field, who brought immeasurable happiness to the couple longing for children, was recounted again and again, a story of love and faith that was handed down through the ages. Amidst the peacefulness of the farm, beneath the clear sky and bright sun, life continued with happiness, affection, and the occasional reminder that miracles can occur in unexpected places. If you enjoyed this story, I'm confident that the next video that appears on your screen will touch your heart. Please remember to subscribe, like our videos, and turn on notifications to stay updated with our future content. Looking forward to our next heartwarming story.